Real Housewives of New Jersey star Jennifer Aiden opened up about her family's drama in a new interview. Amid a rocky patch in Aiden's parents' marriage, her father, John, moved in with her while she was filming the 11th season of the Bravo reality show. This move-in caused a rift with her mother, whose name is Josephine, but Jennifer believes that she still thinks she made the right choice in separating her parents. In an episode that I personally just watched earlier this week, the mother, who has been married to her husband for 50 years,
wow,
says to her daughter about her husband, "I haven't been happy since before I got married." 50 years of unhappiness. And this is because they came from Turkey and it was their culture to have arranged marriages. She was 16. Her husband was 26 years old. A marriage made in hell. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Self-Check Out Show. We are live, and we are glad to have each and every one of you guys tuning in tonight. Hey, good evening, Mama. I see you. Good evening. Thank you for joining me as always. My mom is my biggest cheerleader. So I'm excited always to see her face, her name pop up on the Self-Checkout Show. But welcome everybody, whether you're watching via Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube Live, thank you for joining us tonight. Those of you that are going to watch the replay, we want you to know that we appreciate you too. Man, we are talking tonight. Our topic is pretty heavy tonight. We are talking from about I am single and I'm in ministry. Who cares? And what? All right, because there's a stigma, you guys, that sometimes seemingly, y'all give me a moment, I'm trying to share this to my personal page. There's a stigma that comes along with being single a lot of times and in ministry. But tonight we are here and we're going to tear down some of those stigmas and some of those myths that are attached to being single. And I'm single. I've been single for a while, once married, but you know, it is what it is, right? So I am asking that you all please share this broadcast, and we're gonna get into it deep tonight. And I'm excited, guys, to have one of my longtime sisters here with me tonight. Long time. Long time, y'all. When I was like early 20s, maybe late teens, probably, she actually used to do my hair when I had hair.
I sure did. I forgot.
I remember that on North Avenue.
On North Avenue.
Yes.
That's horrible. Yes, I forgot all about that.
I have never forgotten that. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister, Evangelist Leketha Wade is here with us tonight on the Self-Checkout Show. Hey, girl.
That is hilarious. Baby, I used to do waves and how y'all had us tall.
We had tall hair.
That is funny.
Well, we see what life did to me. Jennifer, don't stop. Ain't no pictures. No.
Please. I have pictures. I do. They in storage, but I have pictures before and afters. Some of my befores look like my afters back then, but that was years ago.
Oh my God!
I'm into my 30th year of doing hair this year.
Absolutely, and it was almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, 30.
About that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need them to go on somewhere talking about some pictures. No, that guy does not live anymore.
That is too funny.
Oh man! Good evening, Jennifer and Josie. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's really we're gonna have some fun tonight, and I'm so glad that you guys are here because, and I want to just really, really get into why we're here. And on last night, if you all recall, I made a Facebook post. You know what? Before I do that, Leketha.
Yes. It's okay to call. It's okay.
All right, y'all. We joking right here because when we were talking before we came on live, I called her what we used to call her back in the day, and that was Tootie. And when I said that, I caught myself. I'm like, oh Lord. And she was like, man.
That is so funny because everybody Tootie, Tootie, Tootie. I said, you got to be family to be Tootie.
Mm-hmm. So, Evangelist Leketha, how are you? Tell us what's going on with you.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. I am Evangelist Leketha Wade, and all is well. I mean, we've been in this crazy pandemic and things have been haywire, but the Lord has kept us all. And we're so glad to be joining you tonight, Pastor Willie Taylor, on this platform to share about the Black woman in the church and why she's single. Yeah. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. And I know that lives will be blessed because of what we will share tonight. And I pray that everybody that's watching would take a hold to something that they can be helped and inspired and grow from and keep going. Prayerfully, Apostle Tracy will be joining us shortly. And we will go forward in Jesus' name. I text her secretary to tell her to get a hold to her. And so, yeah. And so, so I'm still doing ministry. I do my Wednesday in the Words on Wednesday. I'm not doing anything in physical form yet. Of course, my last event was canceled because of the pandemic. But as soon as I feel a release in my spirit, I will hold an event or I will hold something. Leketha Wade Ministries will host something, But right now we are staying stable and staying put until the Lord says something different. And that's why I'm still working, still doing hair, still doing business. God is good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really, really glad to have you on tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on my show. Good evening, all of you guys. Dolores Williams, hello there. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Danielle, good to see you on tonight. So what did you think about that intro there? The woman has been married for 50 years, and she told her daughter, I haven't been happy since before I got married. After 50 years, she's lived 50 years of unhappiness. Wow.
Well, I think that is sad, and I think it's a sad commentary that we have pushed people to that place, to stay in a place where they've been so unhappy. And what we don't realize is that people are in unhappy circumstances and relationships, and it's causing people to be sick. It's causing people to have bitterness in their heart, and it's causing people not even to be able to grow and glow in the things of God. And so what's so sad about that is that it's a person's choice. Now, after 50 years, it's only so much a person can influence me to do. Now, after 50 years, somewhere along the way, she should have just gave up the ghost and said, no, this ain't what it is. But I get it. People of old, I've seen my people, some of my loved ones, some of my aunts and uncles, they stayed in marriages that wasn't even healthy. Because of commitment and because of their covenant. And that's a lot of that is because of what they've been taught and what they've been instilled in them. Stay in it. I don't care what happens. Stay in your marriage. Stay strong. Don't leave your marriage. I don't care if he's slapping you upside your head. I don't care if she's cheating on you. I don't care, and people stay and they stay. And unfortunately, the grave is filled with bitter hearts.
That's good.
Hearts. That died of people that never lived happy or had an opportunity to be happy, because happiness is a choice. And so the grave is full of people that died unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just think that after 50 years, mother, somewhere between that first and that 10th one, some should rose up in you, but I get it. People of old, they just had that in them to stick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick in it. I'm gonna stick to it, and yeah.
Yeah, Danielle said the word toxicity, and
it's
I agree with
toxic,
that.
very toxic.
Yeah,
they literally, absolutely. I don't want to say your name wrong, but absolutely took their vows literally to death do them part.
Yeah,
and some of them unfortunately died in the marriage without having a physical death.
Absolutely, they died in the marriage without having a physical death.
Absolutely,
yeah. And this particular couple, for those of you that are just tuning in, they 50 years ago, they were from Turkey. And so this was their custom back then, 50 years ago, where the marriages were arranged. And her parents, and I would assume his parents too, got together and said, okay, your son can take my daughter. And again, she was 16, he was 26. Age doesn't really matter in what we're talking about, but it's the point that they put these two people together. And I think a lot of times this still happens in a roundabout way, Evangelist. I don't think that the parents get together nowadays or whatever. Let's have a discussion. But then again, they may. But we put people together in some cases. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say it. They should have never been together in the first place. Absolutely. I'm just going to say that, and we're going to be done with that. But we're coming back to it. Absolutely, Danielle. It was a forced marriage. Yeah. It was a forced marriage.
It wasn't what God put together. You know, the Bible said,
this devil, it totally wasn't what.
Yeah.
Totally. And y'all, it's hot outside here in Chicago. I don't know where all of you all are, but it's hot here in Chicago. And they got the motorcycles and the music and everything.
Oh yeah, you don't hear all that in front of my house. There's a young man across the street from us. He ride his little motorbike like he's practicing for a marathon. I'm like, sir. I mean, right. Yeah.
So I sent you an article that I came across, and I want to read just a piece of it.
Yeah.
It says, legs covered in skin-tone stockings, her skirt crisp to the knee. Patty Davis slips on the black heels she has shined for the day. Patty says, gotta look good in the Lord's house. As she spritzes her perfume and gets out of her black Lincoln Town car. She was 46 at the time. This article was from 2010, I believe. And she sat proudly in the church every Sunday, one of the first to get to church on Sunday and one of the first to get to Bible class on Wednesday. All right. She says, every day is a blessed day for me. Jesus is the number one man in my life, and any man who wants me must seek me through him. The columnist says this unmarried Georgia native is a committed follower of the Christian faith, striving to live and breathe the gospel in her daily life. Yet, according to relationship advice columnist Deborah Cooper, it is this devout style of belief and attachment to the Black church that is keeping Black women like her single and lonely. Oh boy. So let's get in it. Tootie. Oh Lord.
That's okay.
Do you think that there's any validity to what the relationship expert says?
Yes, I do. Okay. I do. And I say that because I've seen it so many times, you know, and we've grown up in the church, and we've seen so many people saying, you know, go to church. You're going to find the man in the church. Don't nowhere else, just only in the church. But I'm here to tell you, I've met the biggest boogers in the church. I've dated the biggest boogers in the church, you know? And so you never know where God will have you, where your husband will find you. He could find you at a concert. He could find you at a grocery store. He could find you, at a funeral, at a mall. He could find you, anywhere. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to go into a local church to be found, unless you're looking.
True. You know what wears me out? And I'm going to tell you the truth. And please, I'm not coming from a judgmental place. I'm not. I promise I'm not. Y'all know me. That ain't me. But I'm just saying what really wears me out is when I hear, and it comes from, I've only seen it from women, from Christian women saying, Jesus is my man. Jesus is my Valentine. I'm like, yo, stop it.
He ain't my
That's creepy.
I love you, Lord. But I want a real Valentine. I want a real man. I want flesh.
Come on.
Hand to touch me, and I don't have that superficial mindset, because to me, you give people false hope, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to be honest with, we're human, we're women, we love God, but we also want to be loved by a man. And it's okay. Nothing is wrong with that. And quit trying to make it seem like, because this was a lot of people do in the church, make it seem like because you have that desire that you are out of order. No, God gave me a desire. He gave me that desire. I remember Hezekiah Walker preached years ago, Lord, help touch my burning desire. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure I don't, get found in a place where I'm jacked up and, and lust and all that. But however, God gave us desire. Yeah. And it's okay to want to, he says, not good that man be alone. He said, but I'll make a suitable helpmeet for you. But what we do is we're so desperate and we're so thirsty to be with somebody. We run off and we go and entwine ourselves with the unsuitable one. And that's what we're so out of order and we're so jacked up and we're so messed up, and we let our flesh lead and guide us more than we allow the Lord to allow him to really find us. And what does that look like? Because I always tell people, what does that look like to you? What it looks like is you're not hunting a man down. That's what it looks like. It's not for you to be going and hunting. A man is a hunter. And he should be hunting after you, but I just don't like to give people a false hope.
Okay, that's good. So let me ask you this. In the church, I've only been a part of, I can't even say a black church because my church is everybody in there. But it's predominantly African-American. Mm-hmm. And so when I say the black church, I speak of the black church generally. There seems to be this thing, whereas it's not everybody, but a lot of people are just pounding people on the head. You need to get married. 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 But here's my question. What I just believe, because I have been married and I obviously am no longer married, but being single for so long after marriage, I have really, really come to a place, and this is a man talking, I have really come to a place where I'm okay in my singleness. Mm-hmm. I am enjoying it every single day. Mm-hmm. But periodically, there are people who will say, well, when you get your next wife and all those other kind of things that people say, and I laugh it off. I'm good. I really, really mean that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do find that a lot of times that the Black church hey, Brenda, hey. The Black church sometimes, harps on it so much until they put you with somebody almost and just kind of push you on down the aisle. So that's my first question to you. Should the church rush singles down the aisle?
Please don't. Stop doing that.
Talk about that.
Stop doing that. We rush people into relationships, and we're rushing people to a place where they could be in a place where they could be destroyed.
Yeah.
I've seen this with my own eyes. I've walked up to people, and I've said to people, and Lord knows I'm not lying, because I know what it is to want somebody to love you the way you want to be loved, but they just don't have the capacity to do it for you. But you want it to work because you love them, and they just don't love you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people get in those situations, and the guy, he will go ahead on and marry them because he's being pushed by leadership or pushed by those around him. Man, going on marry her, or girl going on marry him, and then they're destroyed. But I always said, because I was once in that situation, I always said that I would be very honest and I would be open, and I always asked the young lady, or I would tell them if I from the Holy Spirit, don't do it. I've been ridiculed. I've been talked about. I've been mad at for months and months, really, and I'm telling you, really talked about, because I saw destruction for that young lady if she would have linked up with him. If she would have really kept going with him, you would be destroyed. And I just got, and my whole thing was, I'm just trying to protect you. I see that your mother or this one or that one wants you to be married, but it's not for you. That's not even for your destiny. Your destiny is so much greater, and you link up with them, then it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? In some situations, the marriage happened. In some situation, it didn't. And to God be the glory for those that didn't. But to those that was being pushed down the aisle and they did get married, I never saw it last past 6 months.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. A lot of those, I think you're right. A lot of them don't last.
Never. I never saw it last. I've always, because for real, the truth of the matter is, when the Lord gives you that prophetic eye to see, especially when he's allowed you to go through those things, and it's just your radar is up. So instantly, no, that ain't gonna be good, sis. You do that, you sure? Those kind of things. And people go ahead on and do it because they're being rushed down the aisle, and they're being rushed down to heartache, pain, distress, disappointment, tears, lonely nights, could be abuse. It could be some form of really being physically hurt. You never know. A no is not always bad.
Right. A no is not
always bad. A no is
not
always bad. A no can be full of life. A no can be full of your best life. No's are not always bad. Just because God, I never forget. And God bless the guy I used to be engaged to. God bless him. I don't have anything against him. He don't have anything against me, but I never forget when I was going through and I was just like, Lord, what is next for me? What do I do? And I never forget I went home and I laid on my face and I began to pray, and I asked the Lord, God, what do I do? Because I know what I want to do. I know what people saying, but what are you saying? And I'll never forget, I was crying. I was so hurt. I was like, oh, Lord, what? You know how we do. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, you got two choices. You could be miserable in it and go on, or you could be miserable out of it, get healed, and move on.
Oh, that's good.
Which one is yours?
That's good.
And I said, God, I choose to get out of it and move on. He said, best choice. Yeah. You know, so that no wasn't bad, but it saved me heartache. It saved me pain. It saved me a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I'm grateful for that. And I will say to anybody that's on here listening, if you're in a situation and you know that it's not for you, it's okay to embrace the no. It's okay to take the no and take your way of escape and keep going. You know, because God will always give you a way of escape, but it's up to you to choose to take it.
Hey, Cunningham girl.
Yeah, I see her on here. Hey, sister.
She said
they don't want to be embarrassed, but take the embarrassment of the no. I know that's right, sis. But Mickey said something that was good too. She was, I'm trying to get back. She said, because we was talking about to be found, and she said, to be found means his eyes is open to the fact that you're the wife. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what to be found. When he realized every man, and if any men are on here, they'll let you know that the day that they met their wife, they knew she was the one.
Yeah. I've heard countless numbers of men that said that.
Yes. I mean, and especially I know couples, like even in my family and different ones, that say, look, I knew the day I met her that she was my wife.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So listen, guys, don't let nobody rush y'all down no aisle. If you know that it's not what God ordained for your life, take the no and run the other way.
Let's go there for a moment. Mm-hmm. Let's go right there. I'm shift gears a little bit on those other questions. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because a couple of times I saw, even you mentioned embarrassment. Cunningham talked about embarrassment and being forced or pushed into a relationship, into a marriage. Let's talk about something right there. When you just said, hey, take the no, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to say to men and women alike.
Okay.
Let me preface because I'm probably getting a little bit of trouble right here. Let me preface what I'm going to say with this. Marriage does not cure promiscuity.
Sure doesn't.
Did y'all that's watching, did y'all hear that? Marriage doesn't solve that problem.
Never have, never will.
And here it comes. I ain't got no ushers, no nurses, no nothing around here.
Well, just fall out and get back up. And just start fanning yourself.
Marriage does not cure homosexuality either. Oh boy, I'm in it now. And here's why I say that, because we talked about a little while ago, arranged marriages. Because what a lot of people do, Evangelist, is whether it be male or female, mm-hmm. Lesbian, gay, whichever one, a lot of people will push that person to get married, to take away that part of them. Charlotte said, if I fall out, she's gonna catch me. I'm trying to tell you that, sirs and ma'ams, that is not the answer. Because if you have a gay man who gets married to a straight woman,
he's still gonna be a gay man married to
he's gonna be a gay man with a wife.
Yeah, that's it.
And
we've seen it so many times.
Absolutely. And you brothers and sisters alike, you have to be honest enough with yourself and with that woman to say, I'm not ready.
Or be to say, that's enough. Not what I want.
Come on,
I'm not ready. Just say, that's not what I want. That's not my desire. and you allow the Lord to deal with you, you know. But
Absolutely.
don't be married thinking this woman is gonna fix your homosexuality. No,
right.
You know, that's doing nothing. That's gonna just start to be very chaotic, and it's gonna be full of trouble. And I've heard of stories of people getting murdered and hurt and stuff in situations
Absolutely.
like that. Don't put nobody in those situations where you know you're gay and you know that's your lifestyle, and God bless you on your journey. But go and do whatever you want to do, but do not take on a woman just to appease or please the people that's pushing you again.
Now, see, there it is. There it is right there. There it is. Because wait, my brother Matt is on. He told me to keep it real, and he gives me permission.
I'm trying to tell you, Matt. Ain't nobody
usually
got time
when I cut up, Matt says that little meme with the little boy slapping me. I got permission from Matt tonight, so I'm gonna go for it. So that is one of my biggest problems, Leketha. The church, the Black church especially, says we got to get him married. We got to get him married. Sir and ma'am, do you not know that you are basically, essentially saying to the woman, yeah, I know we're going to mess up your life, but this is what he needs. No, ma'am. No, sir. We have to stop that. We have to stop. And you know why we do it? Why we want people to get married knowing that they are gay or lesbian or a womanizer, come on, or whatever. You know why we do it in the Black church? Because it looks right.
It looks right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's all about the optics.
It's the appearance of it, you know.
The appearance of it. That's right.
The form of it.
Charlotte says it's a recipe for disaster, and that's right.
Absolutely the recipe for disaster. And what we don't realize is that we need to open our eyes more and quit opening our mouth and pushing people down the aisle. Open your eyes and your spirit more and to discern. And what's so sad though is so many leaders, because I be careful about saying the church. Apostle Tracy taught us to, quit blaming everything on the church, but so many leaders of our churches, so many leaders do that, and they're guilty of it because they want their church or their leadership to look a certain type of way. Or they want, everybody's married and everybody, but you ain't telling that she's going home and getting beat the brakes up off of her.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not saying that he's going home and he's getting verbally abused, because it's a lot of men that's getting abused.
Absolutely, I know some.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I know some.
Because some women now is ratchet. Verbally abused, tearing down their ego, tearing down them as a man that's of their household, and it's just so many things that we just have to be careful of as leaders.
I agree with that. Sheridan says the church has got to stop pushing people to get married as a cure. We can't play with folks' lives. That is so true.
Yeah, we can't.
Matt said ain't nobody got time for foolery.
Absolutely.
And another comment that Sheridan made I found to be a good comment. She said that's what the engagement period is for. Don't let these folks make you feel embarrassed for doing what's best for you.
Listen. And I agree with you, Sheridan, 100%, baby girl, because listen, engagement for me was my time of decision making. Yeah. That's what engaging was for me. Just because we're engaged don't mean next month we're walking down the aisle. No, it's time for me to really look at some things, lay everything on the line, from financial to family history to everything. How you communicate with your family, how you communicate with man. What do you do with your money? How do you do with your money? What your credit look like? All of that stuff is important. Because when we can't just be so excited that we got a big ring on our finger. but then we're going to be so full of hell in our marriage. So many prepare for the wedding and never prepare for the marriage. And that's what the destruction and the disaster comes in at.
That was good. I want to turn the corner a little bit. I shared with my best friend earlier today, actually, and I think he was blown away by what I said, that when I was 13, 14-ish, the first church that I ever went to, the pastor told me, a kid, 13, 14 years old, y'all, he told me, and I'm just going to say it because we urban, I'm just going to say it how he told me. He said, get as much as you can while you're young. A grown man, 50-something years old probably then, told me, a 13, 14-year-old, get as much as you can while you're young. And before we came on live tonight, we were talking, and I said that, it seems weird that it's definitely a wow right there. I know.
Sorry, y'all.
No, you're fine. It's a wow right there for sure. And we talked before we came on live, and I said to Evangelist Leketha, I said, why is it, in my mind, I shifted back a decade or two. Why is it that if a young lady end up pregnant and she's a part of the church, she had to sit down? But if the man who got her pregnant is also a part of the church and holds a position, especially musician, they still get to carry on their duties. And so my question to you is, why do we teach our women to be chaste, but not our men?
And we teach it to the women as if they're the cause of it all, right? It's sad. It really is a sad commentary. And because both of them did the act. Both of them did. And a lot of times, and I've seen it many a times, the girl got pregnant, she has to sit down. The boy's still playing the keyboard. He's still, because the truth is we have selfish people and we have selfish motives. And the truth is they pan them and they need them, instead of saying it applies totally to everybody. What standard is here to the left is the standard to the right. What standard I have for women, I have the same for men. But I never understood that. I never will understand that. I don't know why that is so, but I just would say it is selfish motives. When I look at, because most of the times that I've seen it, it was always it was a musician or somebody that held an important part in the church, that they held that place. They didn't want to lose their influence in what they did. They didn't want to lose, because if people don't see them coming, then, that's going to put a damper on something, so it makes them look like, so they let them stay in position. But listen, everybody know he got her pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just to me, it's not right, and it's always out of order. And I wish Apostle Tracy was on here, because I know she would have some good to say around.
Oh, man, don't worry, me and her gonna have it out.
Don't do my pastor.
At some point this week.
That's something had to come up, because that's not like her.
It's not even just about the visual, because everyone sees it. It's patriarchy and misogyny, says Sheridan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Melanie.
misogynistic. Yes.
Melanie says seen indiscretion versus unseen.
But that is so because then they're gonna have them up for the christening.
Right.
He gonna put it down and go stand up there and get his flower.
Yeah.
So so it's just Tina said that's because the gift is more important to them and not the soul of the gift.
Absolutely.
Yep, I agree. I
think that is something that should not be geared towards the female. It should be geared towards people. If you're going to teach it to all people.
Because he never did say just the woman stop fornicating, or just the woman quit being an adulteress, or just the woman stop, lying and backbite. He said it to his people. Yeah. And when last time I checked, that's male and female.
Yeah. So, on the same token, I believe, again, and I have to bring up a lady that belongs to my church, Kim Franklin. Such a sweet woman. I love her dearly. Mm-hmm. She is the head of our, right, Pastor Greg, yeah. Then there's that. She is the head of our singles ministry at our church and internationally, our churches in Africa and all those other places. But when I tell you that she is a kept woman, listen, I don't speak highly of very many people like that, but some folks, when you just know. Mm-hmm. She is, when I say she is a kept woman, I mean it. And I'll go out on a limb and say she's probably over 50.
Okay.
Make good money, mm-hmm. Live good, drive good. And I don't know for a fact, but to look at her, and her in communication every week, that's right, Charlotte, Kim is the real deal. I would say, Evangelist, that Kim ain't studying no dude right now, because she's happy in herself. Mm-hmm. She's happy. And she's never been married. And there are some people that are just good with it. Mm-hmm. I'm single, I'm in ministry, and what? Mm-hmm. So that leads me to this. I think that a lot of times there can be a double standard when it comes to men and women single, especially mm-hmm. if you're of a certain age. And we talked about this a bit before we came on live. And I said that, y'all, a lot of these are just my opinions, okay?
Absolutely.
I felt for a long time that if a woman, 30s, 40s, whatever, never been married, no kids, no church, all that, I feel like, people will feel like, oh, she just waiting on God to send her man. But on the other hand, if you got a brother who's of the same age range, never been married, no kids, don't see him dating.
No, he's gay.
He's gay. Mm-hmm. Something wrong with him.
Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, though, Pastor Taylor, they do it to the women too. They do it to the women. I believe
that. I believe that.
I think over time, because you think about it, and you think about even us growing up in the church, I've seen it on both ends, but I have seen it more on the men. Oh, he gay. That's why he ain't got nobody. And you can't even point at him. You ain't never seen him with nobody. You never seen him hang with nobody, but you just put that on him as if that is the truth. And again, that's just the way people's mindset has been groomed. I don't know where they get it from. I don't know why they got it, but unfortunately, they got that type of mindset.
I'm not gonna be bothered with Sheridan tonight.
What you say?
I'm not gonna bother with
I'm not
gonna bother with her tonight.
What she say, baby girl? What she say?
She said, God be sending them.
Sheridan.
Sheridan.
She getting whooping. So, so I've seen it on both sides, but it has been worse for the men. And some people just don't want to be married. Some people are happy being single, living their best life.
And there's that.
Some of us that want to be married.
And I just brought
it's
up.
Okay on both ends.
It's okay. That's my whole point. It's okay, y'all. Just because a person has been single for a while, you don't see them date. That don't mean nothing wrong with them. Maybe they're just happy being by themselves.
Yes, Greg. Some people are called to be single. Everybody is not called to marriage life. You're absolutely correct.
Right. And I wanted to put that up there because I believe that. I believe that comment right there.
You believe that?
That one. I believe some people are single because they are called to be, and others don't have a choice but to be. Either way, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay if that's what you've been called to do, and that's who you want to be. If you don't want to be by, some people don't have the they don't have it in them to be accountable, be the priest of their house. They just be like, I'm a priest of myself. I want to be responsible for me. I don't want no little JoJo's and no little Mimis running around here. I just won't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, let people be. Let folks be. Let people live their own life. Let them work out their own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Let people go ahead and live their best life. Let people choose what they want to do with their life, and let at the end it be between them and God.
I think that it's nothing wrong with someone who is happily married. I don't think, by no means though, I think there's anything wrong with them wanting that for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
However, in all of your wanting that for them, if that's not something that they want, I'm saying back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Because, see, those of us who have influence, we got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with your influence, because people trust what comes out of our mouths. And they may take that against their better judgment and say, well, you know what? If she said it, maybe I can do it, or maybe I should do it. And end up in a whole mess because they went against what they felt inwardly. So I would say to everybody, even if somebody says to you, you should get married, you better pray first. I don't care who tells you. Because if that's not really what you're feeling, and I'm going to say it again, do not mess up another person's life.
Absolutely.
If you are not ready. Whatever not ready means for you, don't do it. Period.
And quit marrying people for stuff. I've seen people get married because, they got money.
Convenience. Yes.
I married them because they look good. Or I married them because in the next, again, here I go. The next 6 months is downhill.
None.
So quit marrying people with an agenda, a hidden agenda. Because it will always be exposed.
Yeah, because there are some.
Even if it's you marrying somebody, and let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. If you marry somebody because they do good for you in the bed, because some of y'all ain't being honest, and a lot of people ain't waiting until married to have sex, and that's we supposed to, but people aren't doing that, and so a lot of folk get caught up in the sex in the bed, and this one can't go nowhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For real, and then they get caught in that and get caught in a relationship. And in a relationship where they're really just jacked up with one another, and is a life of hell.
Mm-hmm.
So quit doing all these things with your hidden agendas. Come clean with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And move on with your life and allow the Holy Spirit to do a work on the inside of you so that you can get what you deserve and get what God has for you. And I'm telling y'all, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be talking about adjustments. And that's one of the things what the Lord showed me is that when he allow us or call or prick us to make adjustments, he only does that because somewhere in our life we got off course, and he always want to put us back to the original place that he intended our life to be, where he said, before you was formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. So there's a place that he knew, and when we get out of that place, he have to prick our hearts to say, look, make the adjustment so that you won't mess up what I have on the other side of this for you. You know what I'm saying? So make the adjustments in your minds to do what's right so that God can bless you accordingly.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Lady Huggins says, stop moving from relationship to relationship without healing. And that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. And I think that there are some people, men and women alike, who are, let's just say, thirsty for somebody to lay next to, somebody to get married to, and they will go out of one relationship and right into the next, without getting healing, like Lady Huggins said. See, here's my thing with that. If man A or woman A, whatever, I'm just gonna say man, y'all know what I mean. Mm-hmm. If man A really hurts you to the core, okay, in January, to the point where you crying and
January,
I just threw something out there. But then come April, you already got another man. Now
come March, he marching up out of there.
Listen here. And so what happens a lot of times in that is because you haven't allowed yourself to heal, male or female, that hurt, that anger from that hurt, you're going to take it out on the next person because it's still in you. You haven't gotten yourself healed from it. Right? Darnett says, God made me wait 20 years before I married my husband. When it was time, I did it. There you go.
Look at God. Look at God.
They say good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely. So I have a question. I know this is a little off what your agenda, but I have a question because this is what I hear a lot. And I want to hear from a male perspective because I have some people that I've talked to that's on this thread that wants to know, what does dating looks like? What does dating, I know what dating looks like for
I'm going to put that question up.
What does dating looks like for a Christian woman or a Christian male? What does that look like? What does that consist of? Is dating just going out with one guy, even though you don't like them, continually, you know you don't like them? Or is dating getting to know people? Getting to know people. I'm not saying sexually, because that's not what we're to do. But getting to know people so that you can know who you potentially or possibly could be with for the rest of your life. That's what dating looks like for me. So what does dating look like for you? I know what you're saying. You're okay. You don't want to, that's not what you want. But I'm just saying from a male perspective, what does dating look like for a Christian, a male Christian?
Think for me, it would be a period of getting to know someone, of getting to really know them over a period of time. Okay. Now, at my age, if we gonna date, we're dating with purpose.
With an intention, that's right.
I'm not trying to date for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, let's work this out about a year or so, and then let's see where we can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to date to get to know some people.
Absolutely.
The ins and outs, what they like, what's their favorite color. You know, are they really a male or a female? Were they born male or female? You got to ask that stuff nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know all these things, because when you reach a certain age, and especially if most of us on here have callings on our lives, you date because you need to know, is this person going to complement who I am in the kingdom?
Now listen. So that leads me to the B clause of that. Okay. Would you date a woman that's not in the church, and I wouldn't say not in the church, would you date a woman that love God, that have a relationship with God, but she don't bust the doors of the church down every Sunday?
Knowing my character and my personality, I probably would, because I believe that sanctification draws.
Absolutely.
Right? I believe that if I really liked her and wanted to go places with her, I would. Knowing me, I'm just being honest, I probably would. And, you know, she'll come along. But I probably would have to see that come along before we get married.
Okay.
Because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to struggle with you after we marry, when I already knew before that there's a possibility that she ain't going to come along like I want her to. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of times we set ourselves up thinking, oh, if I marry her or if I marry him, they'll change. No. If there was a booger before marriage, they're probably going to be a booger afterwards. Mm-hmm. And that's where we have an issue, because we try to change grown people. Mm-hmm. So we date them a little bit, like them. Yeah, I like her. Okay, yeah. Okay, I love her now.
Yeah, because that's my thing. Because I've heard people say, I can't date nobody unless they in the church. That ain't my story.
Yeah, well, because some of them church relationships are a mess.
And I might get backlash from that, but that ain't my story. I will, of course, I want him to know the Lord, and of course, I want him to have a relationship with the Lord and love God. And because if he don't love God and he don't know God's way, he wouldn't really know how to love me appropriately, would I say? Or I can't even say that, because I've seen people that didn't even grow up in the church that treat their wives and their spouses better than somebody that busts the church down every day. So I ain't gonna say that, but I dated because I was pressed to date in the church, and those became my greatest heartaches.
Yeah. So
but I dated outside the church, and it's beautiful relationships.
Yeah, Sheridan says she's not dating outside the church again, tried it, but now I know church foolery well. Worldly foolishness is another level, but that's me.
Yeah, and I get that, baby girl, but my thing of it is that we just have to be careful, because like you said, sanctification is a drawing. And could it be some people have married or marrying people that didn't grow up in the church like we did or whatever, and they're the drawing person to get them into the kingdom, back to their original place that God intended them to be?
Good point. Great question. Apostle Scott Preston says, marriage only exposes more of who you are. If you mean, Marriage only gonna make you more mean.
I believe
if you're
that.
a liar, marriage gonna make you tell more lies. Find out who they really are first, which is a part of the dating process.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need to know everything. I need to know your finances. I need to know that you have kids. Were you married before? Did you have children? Did you have children out of wedlock? How's your relationship with your mom? Because that's always important to me. Even though my parents died when I was so young, I had a great relationship with my mom and my dad before they closed their eyes. So that's important to me. All those factors. What she saying?
Sheridan needs to go to bed.
Yeah, go sit down, Sheridan. You getting a whipping. Next time I see you walking down Roosevelt, you getting it. She's so sweet.
Said he at least needs to be the church parking lot attendee.
Yeah,
I hear that.
It's such a great conversation tonight, and I pray that it has helped many people. I just don't. I want us to get it right. I want us to get it right.
Yeah, sure. And I'm really, really glad that we had this discussion too, because it was a lot. Again, according to the post that I made last night, getting ready for the show, we got so much feedback. I said, okay, great, this is on target. Man, it is healthy and it is natural for a human being to want companionship.
Absolutely.
It's
I just
natural.
had this conversation with somebody. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's natural for us it's human for us to want companionship, for us to want affection, for us to want love, for us to want a husband or wife. That's natural. Let nobody take that from you. That is your God-given right and emotion and feeling to want all of that. And if that's your desire, brother, sister, if you don't already have it, you can have it. If you had it and it's gone and you want it again, you can do it again. Make sure you completely all right, though, healed from that last relationship, that last marriage, before you jump into another one, though. Okay? Because you don't want to make the next person pay for what the last person did.
Absolutely.
Okay? And as natural as it is, as healthy as it is, I also want to say, I'm just recapping some of the points that we have touched tonight. Make sure that you got a little something going on for yourself. Okay? Make sure you got something to bring to the table. And don't cut all that sassy talk. Oh, I got the whole table. No, we ain't doing all of that.
Right.
Don't do all of that.
How they do it?
Don't do all of that. But make sure you got something going for yourself, and don't settle for any less than what your heart desires just because you're lonely. Don't do that. Next, listen to my heart, y'all. Listen to my heart, brothers and sisters. If you know that there are things about you, secrets, skeletons, okay? If you know that those things in you are still alive, don't marry nobody yet. And I'm not just talking about sexual whatever. I'm not talking about just gay or lesbian. If you are a pathological liar, don't get married yet.
A thief.
If you're a thief, don't get married. If you have hidden addictions, gambling, alcohol, drug,
pornography,
pornography. Because and we getting ready to go, I promise. But that's another one that marriage won't cure. And I think Sheridan, it was said earlier that we use marriage as a cure too much, and it never works, y'all.
That's why God always intended it for us to get married and be married forever. Because he didn't want us to be married to this one and married to that one. You ain't got no comparison. You know? I know many, like my cousin and her husband, they've been married. They've been together since they was teeny boppers or 12, 13. And they're still together over 30 some years. And, that's all they know is each other.
Yeah.
And how beautiful is that?
Yeah.
You ain't got no wandering mind, for them to do it like this or do it like that. Because a lot of people and a lot of us will struggle in them areas because we didn't wait.
Because we didn't wait.
Because we didn't wait.
Because we didn't wait.
Just sit in the waiting room. We sat in the waiting room impatiently, and then we, start doing stuff that we ain't have no business doing. Now we have a memory to go to.
Yeah.
And get married, and they don't do it like that, then you're struggling.
Yeah.
And so that's why God intended us to be married to one person. And so, so you won't have that struggle. You wouldn't have to do that comparison. You don't have to go, and so if we would just wait, God help us all.
Yeah. And know that those of you that are single and waiting and looking or whatever, know that you are worth the wait. You are. You're worth it. You're worth the wait. Value yourself. You are definitely worth the wait. Before I get off of here, I want to let you guys know that next month is the month of May. Next Tuesday is the first Tuesday of May, and we will be doing a month-long series on boundaries.
Oh, that's going to be good.
And why they are necessary for various types of relationships. Boundaries, don't cross them. Oh boy, it's gonna be good all next month. Next Tuesday, I'm happy to say that my two of my pastor's kids will be on with us next Tuesday night. Mark Stennis and Kristen Stennis, Chrissy's all the way from New York. They will be tuning in to next Tuesday night. And they're going to be talking from a sibling standpoint. Respect my boundaries. It's gonna be good. So you all make sure. I see Lisa Saray Smith is on here. Hey, you. She is also one of my guests toward the end part of next month on the show. So we're gonna have some fun all next month. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to the Self-Checkout Show. Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube Live. I go back and I look at comments on each of those. Thank you all so much for the feedback. Thank you for your commentary. Thank you for sharing your hour with us on every Tuesday night. We appreciate you. Evangelist Leketha Wade.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It has been my pleasure to sit on this forum, and I pray that many were blessed and helped or encouraged or uplifted. And I just want everybody to know, hi niece, I see my niece on here. I just want everybody to know that if it's your desire to be married, if it's your desire to be in a marriage, God will do it for you. And it's okay that you're in a waiting room. But like I said before, everybody gets called out of the waiting room. You just got to wait till your turn. And don't step out of your turn, because sometimes that causes some little chaos, okay? So I thank you so much. I apologize on behalf of my apostle. She did text and say she wasn't feeling well. So she said she really apologized. So on behalf of Apostle Tracy, Lynette DeVolt, we apologize, but get her next time. She will be on. She's not the type of person that just would not show up. I knew something.
Oh, I know. I knew something.
I'm like, why is she not on? I kept calling her son. So she said I guess she was asleep or something. She wasn't feeling well earlier. So she said she laid down. And so she sent her apologies, and I hope to be back on one sometime soon with you guys, but I love you.
I was just going to ask you if you would come back.
I will. And listen, if anybody on here, if all of you on here would just meet me tomorrow morning, every Wednesday, I'm on Facebook Live, Wednesday's Word of the Week. And it's like a 15-20 minute Word of the Week. We've been having a good time in the Lord. I took the last 2 weeks off because I really needed to do that. Amen. Sometimes you just got to do it. Even though I'm new at this, I needed to take that time off. And so meet me tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I promise you, you're on your lunch break or whatever. Come in, Facebook Live. I'll be there. I'm going to learn how to do the StreamYard, right? And so I could be able to do that. So y'all got to walk me through that. I'm just not computer savvy. Okay, I thank you all. Sheridan, Mickey, Tina, all of the guests, Gregory, all of you all. We love you and appreciate you. And I thank you so much for having me.
All right, guys, I am grateful for all of you guys. We'll see you all back next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Self-Checkout Show. That's Leketha Wade. I'm Pastor Will. I'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Judy. Good night, everybody.
Good night. God bless you.